Jungkook woke up to the gentle warmth of the morning sun filtering through the curtains. The eerie feeling from last night still clung to him, but he forced himself to brush it off. It was a new day, and there was still a lot of work to be done. Dragging himself out of bed, he stretched his stiff muscles and made his way to the bathroom. This time, he kept his eyes open and alert, half expecting another strange sensation like last night. But nothing unusual happened. The shower was just a normal shower. Maybe he had imagined it all yesterday. Feeling slightly more at ease, Jungkook changed into fresh clothes and stepped out of his bedroom, only to freeze mid-step. His eyes widened. His breath caught in his throat. The entire mansion, every inch of it, was spotless. Gone was the dust that had clung to the floors and furniture when he first moved in. The chandeliers, which had been dull and covered in cobwebs, now sparkled as if they had been freshly polished. The long hallway, which had looked abandoned and lifeless just yesterday, gleamed under the soft morning light. Jungkook's heart pounded as he slowly stepped forward, his sock-clad feet sinking into an expensive-looking carpet that he definitely didn't remember seeing before. "What the?" he whispered under his breath, his voice barely audible. He moved cautiously, his eyes darting around as he took in every detail. It wasn't just clean, it was beautifully decorated. The walls were adorned with delicate floral arrangements, and the scent of fresh flowers filled the air. But what sent a shiver down his spine was the choice of flowers. Red roses. They were everywhere. Elegant vases filled with deep red roses lined the hallway, their petals open and vibrant, as if they had just been picked. A large bouquet of them sat perfectly arranged on the grand dining table. Even along the staircase railing, roses had been woven through, as if someone had taken the time to meticulously decorate the entire mansion overnight. Jungkook swallowed hard. His grip tightened on the railing as he descended the stairs, his mind racing. Who did this? How did this happen? He knew for a fact that none of this was here last night. He had barely cleaned his own room, let alone touched the rest of the mansion. And yet, it was as if an invisible hand had swept through the place, restoring it to its former glory. His gaze flickered toward the large painting in the hallway, the same one he had seen in his bedroom last night. The mysterious man in the portrait still stared at him with those piercing eyes, an unreadable expression on his face. Jungkook took a shaky breath. Was it him? That was ridiculous. Paintings didn't come to life, right? His heart pounded louder. Jungkook turned in a slow circle, taking in the transformed space once more. The mansion, which had once felt cold and abandoned, now radiated warmth and beauty. But instead of comfort, a strange unease settled in his chest. Something was happening in this house. Someone is doing all this. But who? The mansion was abandoned for years before he bought it. There are no servants, no staff, and he never saw anyone enter. His unease grows, but instead of fear, curiosity takes over. Then, a soft clink echoes from the kitchen. Jungkook stiffens. His heart pounds in his chest. Slowly, he creeps toward the sound, his bare feet making no noise against the clean wooden floor. Peeking into the kitchen, his breath catches in his throat. There, standing by the counter, is a man. He is tall, elegant, dressed in an old-fashioned but pristine black suit, with dark wavy hair that frames his handsome face. His movements are fluid, graceful, as he places a steaming cup of tea on the table. Jungkook's body tenses. The man looks up, and Jungkook meets a pair of deep, mesmerizing eyes, the same ones from the painting. For a moment, neither of them speaks. Then the man smiles, a soft, knowing smile that sends chills down Jungkook's spine. "Good morning, Master John," the stranger says smoothly, his voice deep and velvety. "I see you've finally woken up." Jungkook's breath catches. Who? His voice wavers. "Who are you?" The man tilts his head slightly, as if amused. He bows slightly, placing a hand over his chest. "My name is Taehyung," he says, "the caretaker of this mansion, and from today onward, I shall be at your service." Jungkook's pulse thundered in his ears. His feet felt glued to the ground as he stared at the man standing in front of him. This wasn't normal. This couldn't be normal. His eyes darted to the painting in the hallway, his mind racing, trying to make sense of what he was seeing. The resemblance was uncanny. The sharp jawline, the deep brown eyes, the slight curl of his lips. It was him, the man in the painting. Jungkook's throat went dry. He took a shaky step back, gripping the edge of the doorframe as if it would keep him grounded. You... Who are you?" His voice was hoarse, barely above a whisper. Taehyung, standing by the kitchen counter, tilted his head slightly. His expression remained calm, composed, like he had expected this reaction. "As I said, I am Taehyung," he answered smoothly, "the caretaker of this mansion." Jungkook clenched his fists. "Don't play with me," he snapped, though his voice still wavered with fear. "That painting in the hallway. You look exactly like the man in it. Who are you really? Are you playing some kind of trick on me?" A flicker of amusement passed through Taehyung's eyes, but it was gone just as quickly. He exhaled softly as if thinking carefully before responding. "The man in the painting was the previous owner of this house," he finally said. His voice was slow, deliberate. "Perhaps we do look alike, but I assure you, I am simply your housekeeper, Master Jeon." Jungkook swallowed hard. His instincts screamed at him that something was wrong, but Taehyung was too calm, too composed. Everything about him felt off, his old-fashioned way of speaking, his unreal beauty, his perfect posture, the way he moved so silently as if he weren't really there. Jungkook took another step back. "And, why are you suddenly here?" His voice was sharper now, his fear morphing into frustration. "I bought this house. No one told me about a caretaker. Where have you been all this time?" Taehyung's lips curled slightly. "You summoned me." Jungkook's breath hitched. "What?"